Hi everyone, it's one half of the Witchy Stitchers with a part 2 of my WIP parade. So as I mentioned in the previous video, I had a stash of projects at the dorm. So literally this is the dorm WIP update. Some of you guys are probably wondering, Morgan, it's Tuesday, you should be in school. You are correct. Yesterday was MLK Day. It came in and oh my lord, dumped snow in Kansas. And I've got friends at K-State. I've got some people that know people in Wichita State. I know people at other schools around the area. All their colleges closed for today. It was 8:30 last night when I found out that I saw a critter walking down here. That they found out that KU had finally conceded and was going to close for today. This is not the first time KU has ever done this. My sophomore year, it came in and absolutely, I think we got at least a foot of snow. They kept campus open and parents threatened to sue. Parents were concerned, which rightfully so. And after that, they started closing school and they needed to. So, I figured lesson learned 2 years ago, right? Joke's on me for thinking. So, anyway, they were not going to close. And I don't know if it took contacting the other half of the Witchy Stitchers and getting her to work her magic, because we all know nobody pisses off mom, or if it literally just took enough parents complaining. So, I am currently at the house. I wasn't even going to go back today. Yesterday, I don't have a vehicle out here. I drive my boyfriend's car. So we were sitting on the couch and we realized what the weather was doing, and we were both like, well, let's give it a couple hours. And it kept getting worse. Dad had taught me how to look at the CDOT cameras for CDOT weather. Same theory for KDOT weather. And, it's clear in certain parts of the state. You get into the eastern part of the state where Topeka and Lawrence is, and it's just white out. So we were both like, well, no, I'm not going. So I contacted work and got work taken care of. And then I reached out to my professor that I would have had class with today. I was like, hey, I can't make it back. Please tell me what I'm going to miss. Like, of course, it's syllabus week, so it's not, like, super important that you're there. They don't do official attendance until next week. Irregardless, though, I'm missing important information. And he was like, just do X, Y, and Z, and you're good. So, everything's taken care of. And then last time we got that email. So I'm not missing anything important. Nothing is happening. The only thing that I'm missing is work. But I'd rather be safe. So, that being said, that is why Morgan is still at the house on a Tuesday. Also, I'm kind of looking at this as my extra day of break because I had to go back for work for one day, so I kind of lost a day of my break. But that being all said, I've got my cranberry juice and Sprite over there. I've got pretties. Let's finish this WIP parade. So, and I might talk a little bit about plans. We'll see. We're going to start. One of these guys got love last night. This is my Ghosts and Goblins. It's a sal that we started during COVID, I believe. And Mom has already finished part 1. Because she's amazing like that. I have not. This is where I am at. And the Reaper Ghoul, I don't know what he's supposed to be, is kicking my ass. Pardon my French. But it's going along. Last night, so I forgot Mom had went and blown up the patterns for us because the patterns are quite unfriendly to read. And I called her because part of the back stitch is in 2 different colors. So back stitch around the ghost and I guess it's a goblin, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, it's in 310. But then the wording is in 550. And I couldn't read the print, and so I called her and I was like, hey, I'm an idiot and left my stuff at the dorm. And it's not that I intentionally did it. I don't have a way to safely transport it right now. So hence why it's sitting at the dorm. So yeah. And this next project is another one of those. I have a couple of the blown up patterns, but not all of it. And this is Prickly But Cute. And if anyone knows, we all know that Mom has finished hers. And hello, it's adorable. I don't know how she whizzed past me, but anyway, so this is it. And I dyed, she did hers on oatmeal, I dyed mine, I don't remember what dye I used, but anyway, I dyed this at 16 count Ada. So, I mean, at least I'm even 333. So, I mean, 3 times return, I guess. But anyway, that is where I'm at. This is something that hold on a second, honey, chill out. If you guys hear any like playing or anything, I have Honey and Artie up here and they love to play with each other. So if it gets a little weird all of a sudden, it's just the children playing. And no, I'm not going to apologize for it because animals play. Okay, the next one is my Art Nouveau's, plural. Mom made this really awesome bag over the summer. And then if I remember, yeah, this is just a leaf from a table runner she made me. And I just have pretty flowers on the inside. Appropriate for Art Nouveau. I do not have a cover photo for this one. Mom's finished a couple of them. At least one, I know for sure. Not 2. I can't remember. I know at least she's finished Christmas. Or not Christmas, but winter. So this is my summer. And as you guys can tell, I've had to frog a number of times on this one, which is probably why this one hasn't been given love. Lay down. So that's summer. This is my spring. So go that way or this way? Can't remember. I'd have to look at my pattern. I think it's this way. And then no, this one goes this way. That's my my Christmas or my winter. And so each one, so summer is roses, spring is daffodils, winter is poinsettias, and then fall is grapes. And that's where I'm at. So I've got good progress on a couple of them, but not as much as I would like. And I'm not sure if I want, Mom had went out and got some fabric to do wall hangings with, so I might copy that because I know she got enough for both of us. Or I might do something different. I don't know. I have a sewing machine. Just need to get a cutting mat. Okay, so the next one, sorry, it's warm up here, is my Mill Hill. And this one kind of got put on the back burner because I was in a bit of a pickle with how much beading I wanted to do. So this is Proud Peacock. I've been working on it for a while now. And I'm not quite halfway done, or maybe almost. There's just a lot of beading and a lot of jumping, and if anybody has ever worked with perforated paper, you know. I was watching Helen D the other day, or yesterday actually, and she was showing this, it looks like die cut wood, but it's for mill hills, and you basically magnet it so it acts as a perforated paper hoop. And I don't notice this very often. Maybe Mom does. I guess I do notice it when I'm beading, but she was talking about how her wrists bother her. And I mean, I get it. You're holding the paper a little bit differently. So she got this for her little mini. So I'm wondering if they have for like the bigger ones. Because that'd be amazing. Plus it would help the stitches stay tight. Anyway, just me talking. The next one, and this one may get ditched and restarted another time. This one was started for my brother a couple of years ago. I believe also during COVID. I'm just looking at my sticky notes, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's called Winter is Coming. And it was just a free pattern I got online. I don't remember if I dyed this fabric specifically for this, but that's all I have. And I don't enjoy the piece. And my stitches are okay. You know, it's not really my stitching type. Let me rephrase that. It's not the way I was stitching it. It's honestly just the piece itself. All I'm using is 310 and 415. So I might entertain ditching it for now, and then at a later time restarting it, maybe doing it on a darker gray, and then fiddling around with maybe just doing the black and the wolf so that the gray can talk. Because part of what I'm running into is that the wolf is filled in completely, and then it's just the wording. So you're not getting the full effect of the gray that I dyed, which was the whole point. So we'll see what I do about that. I do have a pile of we'll sees, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So now we're going to be getting into, I basically took patterns and moved them from one box into another box so I can make this one box specifically for dorm projects. So forgive the clacking, I think. Oops. Okay, let's see here. Some of this did get mixed in, so bear with me for a minute. Oh! Pause, please. Okay, I grabbed the wrong box. I grabbed that blue box instead of the one I'm using. But okay, so let's get started. So obviously I don't have a cover picture for this one. This is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs, and this is where I'm at. Fabric was dyed by me. I do not remember the colors I used. It looks like I used some green and gray, maybe some yellow in there. I have a good portion of the threads. I don't have all of them though. So I know she was in the process of getting me fully kitted up, and I believe this is on 16 count Ada. I believe. Don't quote me though. And I do have the pattern for this. It's fully blown up. So all I need to do is just sit down and start stitching. The next one that I have is my Temperature Quaker, and this is from 2021. And this is a piece that I've been going back and forth on. I want to finish the full year. What I'm running into is I'm doing it on 25 count, and I made the mistake of doing the actual flowers 2/1. So they're very thick, they're very hard to puncture through, and I'm finding that my back stitch is getting lost in the fibers. And I know a lot of people do have that problem, so I know I'm not the only one in this conundrum. But anyway, that is the temperatures. And it was warm that year. This one is, oh, hello. This one is based in Carriage. So I am to July. So I'm over halfway done. Well, not quite, because I don't have all the stems done yet. And the fabric is soft. It's nice to work with. It's just, I made the mistake of 2/1. And at some point I messed up my back stitch on some of the flowers, so the stems aren't right. So they kind of get squattier as they go along. I don't know where. They're still cute. They're still flowers. But I need to figure out what I want to do with this. So we'll talk about this in my plans. Well, the plans are at the end. Van Gogh bag, if you know, you know. One second, please. Okay, sorry about that. Honey's pacing. Her cat friend went downstairs and she's still upstairs with me. So this is my Van Gogh. It's Wheat Fields with Crows. And I did a repaint of this from my viewpoint when I was younger. And I fell in love with the piece ever since then. So this is where I'm at. I just have the border. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe Mom was able to get us, because I do have it in Pattern Keeper. So I do believe that she was able to get us the PDF version so we can use Pattern Keeper, which is a lifesaver I'm finding with big patterns with a lot of confetti. So we have that one. The next one, appropriately so, is my Arctic Blast. I have worked on this intermittently. I don't have a cover picture for it. This is a Carolyn Manning Designs. And she released this, I believe, a couple of years ago. I believe she released it in either 22 or 23 in honor of the Arctic Blast. And ironically enough, we are getting hit with it again. I also find some irony in the piece itself, just personally. A year ago, I'd started talking to my boyfriend on this day because I had started going to the gym and that's where we'd met. So it's irony that I was working on this a year ago today. So that is where I am. Not a whole lot of progress, but every stitch counts. Okay, the next one is I can't say it properly, so I'm not even going to try. Without showing you guys the pattern. Is this. It is a sal that we started last year on Christmas. Mom and I both started it, and this is where I'm at. I dyed, oh, that's not giving it justice. I dyed this really brilliant pink. It's not showing up. But I have the smallest little start. I am a little worried that my colors are going to blend in, so hopefully I don't have to restart it. We shall see as I'm working along. But yeah. And then this is my quotes to live by. Mom made it with this really awesome fabric. And yes, this pattern is retired, I believe, but there is a company in Europe that she is, Stitchrovia is working with for mental health. And so during COVID, they did this, and my mom and I have been trying to get our hands on this pattern for years. And we finally got it. So it's 9 different quotes. And this is where I'm at. I haven't gotten much more progress than this. The last time I worked on this, I spilled ranch dip on it, so I had to get a bath, and I haven't worked on it since then, but it did soften the fabric up when I washed it, so there is a plus to that. And no, the blue did not bleed, luckily. I was very fortunate in that one. Because one of the reasons why we don't wash the fabric I dye after we finish something is because we don't know for sure if it is color fasted completely. You know, you use RIT dye, which is just tie dye. You never know if you're going to get all the dye rinsed out and set or not. So it's kind of a take a chance, I guess. All right, and this is the last piece that I had at the dorm. And this is my mini night cafe. So prior to Pattern Keeper and prior to all the loveliness, we were doing a paper piece. So this is Mini Night Cafe. We started this with, I believe, one other stitcher. And this is where I am at. Mom is much further along than I am. She's going across, though, where I'm going down. We tend to stitch in opposite directions, but in similar areas. So that is the dorm WIPs. And many of these were at the dorm, like Mini Night Cafe, because I could set up with my box of thread and Pattern Keeper at either my desk or on my bed, and then I could just go. So I now have a bag. You guys can't see it, but it's down here, and it is full of projects that I want to see done this year. Let me find my notebook really quick. There it is. So to preface this conversation, since the beginning of the year, I've had 2 finishes, which I know there's people out there, you know, whipping them out left and right, which awesome for you. I had one that I started a year ago, and it was just sitting. I believe I'd have to look, I can tell you, my handy dandy stitch count book. I finished it and I only had 247 stitches left. That was a day's worth of stitching. And what ended up happening is I had done some stuff, I had done some personal stuff for housing that morning, and then I sat down and worked on it. So, and also I think I slept in early that day, or late that day. I'd had an early morning the day before. Don't give me flack. So that one got done. And yeah, the lighting's really washing it out. It's very pastel-y. And I know I talked to Mom about this, and we were both like, yeah, it probably didn't get done as soon as it could have, because I don't stitch with pastels. That is not my colorway. They're beautiful to look at. They're beautiful to work on. But for me, it came down to the fact that they're beautiful colors. I don't have it with me over here, but the colors are gorgeous. Just not my style, and that's okay. I'm still going to do the bees because I love them. The next 2 I have, I believe, is Be Mine, which is a Valentine's Day bee. I have the Be Spooky, and then I have the Be Happy. And each of them are already fully kitted up. They're ready to go. I just need to sit down and go. So I think the next one I'm going to do is the Be Spooky, because I have this really beautiful, like, it looks like dried blood, or like arterial blood. So that one's really cool. I had picked it out. I know I've shown you guys in previous videos. It's been a while now, so you'd have to go back through and look. The next one, which I'm so glad is done, is my temperature Quaker. And this is the conversation that we're going to have now. So, I finished this piece, and Mom and I had said, I'll give you a minute to admire. It was a warm year for 23. And yeah, I have some salvage, but it's okay. I had enough room. That's all that matters. So that is done. So I'm still working on 21s. I've done the butterflies for 22. I did the Quaker for 23. 24 was not supposed to have a temperature. I was going to focus on the flowers and get them done. Sat down. My boyfriend loves the idea of the temperatures. He loves seeing, the idea of, you know, tracking the weather and tracking what it's going to do, and just, you know, all the fun stuff that goes into this. And so I was like, well, yeah, I know, but would you be okay with there being a gap in there? And he's like, well, yeah, that's totally fine. Like, you know, you do whatever you want. I just am telling you, I like this idea. And I'm like, okay, cool. 25 rolls around, we'll find one. And so fast forward, and I believe Mom was searching on Etsy, and that's where I got this, for leap year pattern starts. And she came across this temperature piece. We both love dragons. It's kind of a family thing I'm getting used to, is that my family loves dragons, him and I enjoy dragons. So anyway, long story short, I have picked out this. The only issue that I have with this specific pattern is that the temperature way does not work for where I live. And I will give you an example. So, over the weekend, our high was -4. Her temperature only went down to 10 degrees. I won't be hitting 10 degrees until tomorrow or Thursday, which is fine, but it does not work for my colorway. So, I'm batting around these ideas. What do I do? And then Mom made this really good point. We've got different colorways from another designer. So I pulled the colorway from Sarah at the Stitchin' Mommy from her butterflies that I did in 22. They're bright, they're vibrant, their dragon colors. And the reason why it was such a big deal is that we do live in the Midwest. We do get those Arctic blasts. We're right down the road from the river, so we do get the water effect. And it gets cold, but in that same sentence, it gets hot. As you guys can tell with the temperature quaker, I hit the highest high in August. And so it's like, okay, we know we can go all the way up to this point, but we also know we can all the way go down to -10. And obviously I've been in it for the last couple weeks, and anybody else who's grown up here knows that. So what I'm, doing now, I need to bobbinate and I need to finish doing the layout. The layout's very funky. The designer took this original dragon that she did and then turn it into a temperature beast. So there's not 1 through 9 and then A through B type thing, or A through whatever. There's only, like, you have different colors for what was the original piece, and then you have to denounce down to what is what, which is not enjoyable for me. So we're gonna see how long I can handle that before my brain goes, what the hell am I doing? But you want to say hi? Would you like to say hi to the peoples? This is Honey. Many of you guys met her when we rescued her. She's gotten big. Yes, you have. So I do have some fabric that I've dyed for the dragon, and I'll grab it for you guys real quick. This was RIT dye. It was Kelly green and gray. What I'm running into with this is that this fabric is very rough. It did soften up after I washed it, but I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's not. Hopefully over time of stitching it will soften up. I do need to reserge it because it did wash down straight to the seam I did, which is, what are you doing? Which is why it did get serged, because I knew this fabric would do that. But irregardless, that is one of the plans. The next plan that I have is about some of my WIPs. So I mentioned I have a bag down there full of WIPs, which of course I do. Which stitcher doesn't? Zero. Mom got that for me a couple years ago. Well, about a year ago. So we have here my handy dandy stitch count book for when I'm not using Pattern Keeper. And I have a list. So I brought up my helper, who just so happens to be my boyfriend, and we went through the 3 boxes and the bag from the dorm, and we said, okay, what can be done in a couple weeks? What do we want to see done this year? And what could be done in like a day and a half that hasn't been done? 18 projects. Yeah. I have my Liberty Quaker. This one is a bit of a reach, but I think I can do it just because I know how I stitch on it. My Summer Quaker, You Brought Me Love, my Witchy Toad. I don't know what his actual name is. I just call it Beware because on the wording it does say Beware. My Funny Quote, Cactuses, Spring Fling, Spooky Street, Proud Peacock, Ghosts and Goblins, all 4 Art Nouveaux, Prickly but Cute, Mother Moon, and Simply Meant to Be. I don't know if Simply Meant to Be can get done. I do know I have another personal goal though for that one. And that one's just to get those pages done. So that one might not get done. The other 17 could very easily get done. If I did my math right, when I made this, I originally had 50 projects. I had finished 3 of the projects last year that were on this. So that took me down to 47. And then I've already finished 2 this year, which took me down to 45. Theoretically, that will take me down not quite half. Theoretically. I have a lot going on in the next couple months, but stitching is something that I find enjoyable. With the few that I am entertaining ditching, I'm entertaining ditching the winter is coming for now, and then restarting it at some point. I do want it to be a graduation piece, but with the way it is right now, I know I'm not going to want to stitch on it. I'm probably most likely going to ditch my Kylo Ren, or at least UFO it for now, and just put it on the back burner. When I talked to Mom about it, it's one of those things where when I started the piece, I really loved it, and it's not the pattern, it's really not me. It's literally the fact that I have restitched that one portion at least 5 times now. And every time I pull it out, I am finding a new problem, and it's just not enjoyable. So I don't want to completely, you know, be done with it, cut out that portion, and just use that fabric for something else. But I also don't want to see it lounging in my box. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to take it out and put it on the back burner. If I ever come across a good friend or a niece or nephew, or even my own kids that, you know, fall in love with all things Star Wars, which most likely, then I might pull it back out and stitch it for them. The other thing that I'm entertaining ditching is my Hogwarts, and it's not that I don't enjoy the piece. I don't enjoy the way it stitches. It's a fun piece and it's enjoyable, but it's not my style. And so at this point, you found a squeaker. I'm probably just going to put that on the back burner for now. And again, most of this will probably get UFO'd instead of ditched. But for now, they're getting taken out of the box, and they're going to get taken out of the rotation. I'm most likely just taken off the list, and I'll just have a side list of, you know, ditched pieces. The other thing that's in there for now until I figure out what the hell I'm going to do with it is my ruby. No, it is not getting ditched, and no, it is not getting UFO'd. We have a loose plan that we have come up with. Mom's going to finish the full piece. I'm going to do a quadrant there in the corner and make it where it's even across the board, and then just be done. You know, I've got all the floss, I've got all the everything. I just need to sit down and do that. I'm already almost to that point, which that would be technically my first full coverage finish, which would be really awesome. So that's something that I need to sit down and do. I just need to look at it, and I mean, the stitching will tell me. My boyfriend was looking at it, he made a good comment, well, why don't you just stitch the whole thing and then just cut off what you need to? Unfortunately, his eyes don't see the same thing that our eyes do. That piece is a mirrored piece. So anybody who's doing a Carolyn Manning or has done a Carolyn Manning knows that she mirrors the piece left to right, top to bottom, across the board. So, I mean, it was a good idea and I had entertained it, but I would have noticed, you guys would have noticed, and it would have looked quite wonky on the wall. So that's something I need to sit down and do. But so for now, I'm setting at 45. My next focus, it was originally going to be, I think I said spring fling, or maybe it was the toad. Now that I think about it, it was the toad. But I think right now I'm going to make a focus for Ghosts and Goblins. I had worked on it last night, and as much as I am despising all those purples, even though purple is one of my favorite colors and it's a beautiful color palette, I'm just struggling with it. So I think the new focus is going to be to get that first section done. Mom has the witch. To my knowledge, she went and blew up all 5 for me. I've got all the fancy floss. I've got all the pretties that go on to it. All that it's taking is for me to sit down and stitch. So I was working on it last night downstairs. The lighting up down there wasn't great. So today I'm going to work on it up here where I've got this light and see if I can get a good dent on that Reaper, Goblin, whatever you want to call him, the purple dude. And see if I can get that done. Obviously the ghosts are in white. It's in glow in the dark white. So we all know white gets stitched last. So, and I know when Mom stitched with it, she said it was a bit of a bear. So, we'll see what happens. I do need to get the blown up patterns here. What I'm running into right now is that I live on the 10th floor of my dorm. There are only 10 floors, and I find myself not really able to transport a lot of things. That's partially why it took so long to get these patterns here. But irregardless, they will get brought back at some point. I have a poster tube that I got when I was buying posters from this company that comes to the dorm. Back. And so I think, Jill, I will just use it. Stop it. She's feeling feisty. And bring those to the house, and I'll take the poster tube back for my posters when I move into the house. Other than that, though, that is everything I have. I believe I've shown you guys everything I've worked on. Because literally it was the Temperatures, Be Sweet, and Ghosts and Goblins. 2 of those I have finished. The 3rd one I am working towards a finish. I do know that I've encouraged, enticed, inspired, whatever you want to call it, Mom to finish her Witch. I don't know which one that one is. It's the 2nd part of the Ghosts and Goblins piece, though. So she is wanting to finish hers. It wasn't initially on the plan, but, well, we all know how inspiration goes. Other than that, though, that is all I have. I'm going back to school. I'll be back on campus tonight. I will be there through Thursday. I have work and classes, and then I'm on call tomorrow night. And then I'll be back here over the weekend. I'm not sure how I'm going to be doing the videos. I don't know if it's going to be a monthly thing. I don't know if it's going to be a bi-weekly thing. It might just be when I have accrued enough pieces to actually do a video for you guys, where I sit down and you guys are either hit with a 30-minute video or you're hit with an hour video. I don't know. Well, we're going to play this one by ear. It is my last semester. So, I mean, anybody who's went to college or anybody who's had kiddos in school knows the last semester is when you're just wham. It's not like high school, I can promise you that. I've had a couple classes open up. I've had to purchase the seniors that I've ever interacted with lied to me. They're like, oh, you don't need books in your senior year. I've bought more books this semester than I have the entire time I have been in college. So far it be, hold on one second. Sorry, she's crying for her friends to come upstairs. But yeah, far be it for your senior year of college to be easy. But it's worth it. It is very worth it. I've heard about one job, and I did not get an interview. I know I mentioned that in the last video. I'm supposed to be hearing about another one soon. I need to put in my application for the game warden position, and that is due in February. And then I go and take the running test, which is 1 mile in 10 minutes, which is very doable. Stop it. And then I take the written test, which I have to basically, bless you, memorize all the native and migratory birds, all the native animals. I had to memorize boat law. I had to memorize search and seizure, arrest, basically just common sense stuff that any game warden would have to know. My question to Kansas, and I know I've already said this once, why do you have so many birds? And half the ducks look the same. Why? But that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully one of these two will come through. I know I'm running into the issue right now where I'm kind of hurry up and wait, because government jobs, yay, we love them. There we go. But we'll see what happens. Other than that, though, I am doing good, still kicking. I start school officially tomorrow. I've got 3 classes tomorrow, and then I'm on call, so let's see how this goes. But anyway, anyone who is being hit by this, which seems like it's going all the way down to Louisiana and Texas, which, sorry guys, Please stay warm, keep your heaters running, keep your babies inside, fur and human included, and just be careful on the roads. It's not worth it. But irregardless, just remember, be kind. Bye.